Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
All right, welcome in, Hoist the Colors on this Tuesday, March 26th. We're trying to figure out what's going on with our cameras. And we are live on the radio. We're about to be live on YouTube, Facebook with our updated video feed. It's been a morning and a half. As if you're watching our video feed now, I'm just sitting there wiping my nose. I don't know what's happening, but Philip is hard at work figuring it out, and we're figuring it out here as we go along, because we were just out at ECU Pro Day, and we saw the Pirates go through several workouts, former Pirates, I should say, and have a lot of success, a lot of pressure, all that sort of stuff. We'll get into that and more. We've got some interviews with a couple of the guys, Julius Wood, Jeremy Lewis. We also caught up with Jalen Johnson. We'll see what we can get to by the end of the show. So we've got that. We've got now our camera set up. Philip has fixed it. Philip, you got enough going on in there, man?
Yeah, I do. Well, I didn't even fix it. I just found another camera because the other one, you're still frozen.
I'm frozen and wiping my nose. It's a really good look.
Yeah.
So,
sorry about that.
No, I mean, hey, technology sometimes, man, it gets us all. All right, so today we have got football practice at 3, 50-ish or so, and then we've got football post-practice interviews with Mike Houston. Not sure, I don't think we're talking to anybody else, but definitely Mike Houston. We got baseball at 6 o'clock, Pirates hosting UNCW. First midweek home game of the season, as crazy as that is. We'll preview that and the week ahead with Scott Rogers. He'll join us. We were scheduled to have Casey Ramaley today. He found out he's got jury duty, so he went to that this morning. Turns out he showed up and sat there for 2 hours, and the case was dismissed, so he basically wasted his time. But he'll join us Thursday to preview the Sweet 16 and more. So we've got a full show to get to, and we're working through technical difficulties to do that. As always, we're live on YouTube, Facebook. If you got a question, jot it down there. We'll get to it over the next hour. Scott Rogers will probably join us in our next segment or so. All right, we'll lead with Pro Day coverage. Always a fun day to see guys who have come through this East Carolina program get their shot and have a chance to put on for scouts. We really get to see the outdoor portion of it. We don't get to see the spots where they're doing the inside stuff, the vertical leap, the broad jump, all that sort of stuff. As far as those testing numbers, we do get to see the 40-time outside positional drills, all of that. So really, you look at this class of players. You had a number of guys work out. I'll run them down real quick. B.J. Davis, linebacker, Jarrett Garner, wide receiver, Josiah Hatfield, wide receiver, Jalen Johnson, wide receiver, Jonathan Jones, DB, Jeremy Lewis, local guy from South Central, Julius Wood, safety, and Archer Trafford, the punter who transferred in last year. Really, the headliner here in terms of having a shot to get drafted is Julius Wood. He spent a long time after his workout talking with, I believe, scouts from the Texans. I can't remember the other team. Not sure if, Philip, you remember that other team.
I think it was a Charger scout is what it looked like, but
okay.
He kind of has back to us.
And he said after he's had a lot of conversations with a lot of teams, Julius Wood has some of the best tape of any college safety in this draft. It's just, how is his testing numbers going to go? So much stock is put into the 40, all of that. I think, he probably ran somewhere in the 4.6 range from what I heard. He doesn't have elite speed for a safety, but he's got great length. He's physical. Probably, I haven't watched every safety in this draft, but there's not too many more safeties who are going to be as physical as Julius Wood pound for pound. So teams love him. At the worst, he can be a special teams guy. He can be a run defender, a guy who can get downhill. So, he's got a shot to get drafted on day 3, I would say, if things break right, if a team falls in love. More than likely, as it stands now, probably a priority undrafted free agent, though, at the worst. Definitely he's going to get a shot somewhere. He's going to get a contract in the NFL, and that's a big deal. So we did catch up with Julius Wood after the performance at Pro Day. Here's how that sounded with the Ohio native. How do you think it went?
I think it went good. Prepared a long time since late December for this moment, and I feel like it went good today out here. I feel like I checked off a lot of boxes and showed a lot of teams, what I'm all about. So, it's time for the next step and time to go give what I feel like I deserve.
You've always said, tape kind of speaks for itself. So how confident are you in that aspect of the game more so than anything that even happens out here?
My tape, definitely speak for itself. At the end of the day, I'm a football player. So, I pride myself on playing football. It was a great opportunity to be out here, doing drills and running a 40-yard dash, But at the end of the day, you're not running drills in the football game. You playing football. So, I'm a football player, and I've always been that since a young kid. I like to play football, So when I went off to training, it was kind of a little bit weird because I'm used to playing football. So I got to, go all in on training and stuff. And it was a great thing to do out there in Nashville, Tennessee at X3. I met a lot of good people and just built a lot of good relationships with people, that I'll never forget. And, it was a good opportunity to come out here today and, showcase my abilities and things like that. So I feel like I did good. I feel like I showed what I needed to show. I could have did better in things, but that's always the case. That's life. But, I gave it my all, and I feel like I made a statement for sure.
Any conversations as to where you project to the next level inside the box, playing back out of safety? What does that?
Teams got me. Different teams got different schemes. So some teams say they like me in the box strong. Some teams like me free safety. So I'm a versatile player. I can play many different roles. That's one thing about me playing football. You can put me wherever, I'm gonna make plays. So I pride myself on that. Like football, that's what I do. So anywhere you put me on the field, nose guard, I'm making plays. So it don't matter where I'm at, I'm make plays.
You had some long conversations with a couple of scouts. Are they talking football? Are they talking off the field stuff? What are they asking you when you talk to them?
They want to get to know you a little bit. They want to get to put a voice on the face and things like that. So get a little bit about your character and things like that. And they ask you a lot of different questions. But I always did good with interviews and things like that. So it's on my mind. I don't have to really practice for an interview or anything. I'm a good communicator. So I can have a conversation. We're just having a conversation. So, I done got a whole bunch of questions, and, I just do a good job answering them, getting to know people, and that's what it's all about.
You said it went well. What was the experience like for you today, getting to go through this pro day?
It was a real good experience, Like I said, it was different because, usually you out here playing football, but it was a different experience. I feel like it was an experience that I grew, to end up loving while I was training in Nashville and, just building up relationships and things like that. It was a different experience because this is a process, that's, you're getting judged off of something that's like drills and how far you can jump and things like that. So, you want to do your best and things like that. So I feel like I did good today, I feel like I could have did better on things, but I'm grateful for everything. I thank God, just for waking me up. So you just got to be grateful for wherever you at, and just, play the hand you dealt. So I feel like I got a good deck of cards with me, and I did my thing, and I'm ready for the next step.
What are NFL teams getting out of you as a player?
They getting a real versatile, good character, man. I'm a family man. I'm a tremendous football player, a leader, somebody that younger guys look up to. Someone who's just good energy, good character, somebody who lifts up the locker room, lifts up people around them, try to speak positive affirmations on people around them, and just all around good person. That's what they gonna get out of me. And hard worker, relentless, and somebody who's gonna be a ball player for a real long time.
What teams have consistently kind of shown interest in the pre-draft process?
The Chargers, the Raiders, Cincinnati Bengals, Detroit Lions, Houston Texans, San Francisco, Chicago Bears. A good handful. I mean, I could keep going. it'd be kind of hard to go off the head. It's hard to remember everybody, but a good amount of teams, and I'm excited, just for the opportunity to be able to talk to that many teams, so yeah, I'm excited for the whole ride. Yeah,
You're an Ohio guy. What would it mean for one of those two franchises to give you a chance back home?
It'd mean a lot, my mom, she always wanted me to stay as close to home as possible so she can come watch my games and things like that, but wherever, any opportunity that presents itself, she'll make her way to any game, whether I'm across the country or wherever I'm at, she's going to come to the game. So, but she do want me to be as close as she can to her son. And I know my family would probably want that, but they would whatever I'm with. So, like, wherever I'm at, they coming, so it'll be a big opportunity to stay home, but whatever opportunity presents itself, I'm ready, and they would whatever I'm with.
All right, there's Julius Wood, again, the owner of 189 career tackles at East Carolina, 4 interceptions, and that's in 3 years, and really only 2 years as a full-time player defensively. Really was the heartbeat of the back end of the defense, and I think will definitely get a good shot at the next level. And I think he's got a real shot to make it. I mean, he doesn't miss tackles. He's a pretty elite run defender. I mean, there are things he's got to clean up in pass coverage, but most safeties definitely have that to take care of as they transition to the NFL. So really high on Julius Wood after watching him the past 2 years in this defense, and I think he's going to transition well to the league, and I think that's why he's got so much interest among this group of players. We also talked with Jeremy Lewis, local product here from South Central, and the big thing with Jeremy is finding out which position he fits best at the next level from scouts, because he played mainly outside linebacker at ECU. He's a little undersized for that in the NFL, and really they want him to slide more to kind of an inside linebacker position at the NFL and mainly be a special teams guy too, and that's kind of how you have to make it early in your career. So Jeremy's trying to figure out that transition, but had a really good day, tested extremely well, 37-inch vertical, and had some other really good testing numbers. I think rep 21 times on the bench press. So impressed scouts with his testing numbers, and also did well in the positional drills. Movement looked good at all the inside linebacker spots and all that sort of stuff. So here's our conversation with Jeremy Lewis. How do you think it went out there?
I think it went solid. We got a bunch of guys that came out here ready to compete today. Put up some good numbers. The main thing, just go out here and, give it your all. And I was able to PR on some events, I did better in training on other events, but just able to come out here, blessed to have this day, to show what I can do in front of all these great people.
Sounds like you tested really well. So what type of feedback did you get on those numbers and everything?
Yeah, I tested pretty well. I jumped high on the vertical, bench press. I did pretty well. So I wish I could have, PR'd on every single drill, but I didn't. But which is fine, what I'm saying. We still got to play football at the end of the day. Like, testing matters, but it's not, it's not the main thing. So I know just the main thing is when I get into a rookie mini camp, make sure I play balls to the wall. So that was some of the most advice I got from one of the coaches is, play 100% every single day.
Are most teams related to telling you, inside linebacker at the next level? What kind of feedback do you get there?
Most teams know that I'm a very versatile player. Play offense, defense, every single special team that there can be. So a lot of teams, I know I'm going to play a little inside linebacker, but I can also show my versatility, being able to rush the passer as well.
And you obviously did a little bit of both of that your senior year for sure. So how much do you feel like that helped you?
A lot. Being on the edge, I felt like I didn't get the action that I wanted to get. It's based on our defense. You got to play your role and always do what you're coached to do. So a lot of the times I felt like I was sitting the edge, not being able to get to the ball. And I asked coach one day, can I play middle linebacker? And as soon as I did, it just felt natural. Got in the box, started making plays, playing east and west, flying around, and it just felt natural.
Well, Jeremy, you got a lot of old teammates in the NFL, CFL, UFL. How much have you reached out to those guys to talk to them about this process?
Talked to him a little bit. Talked to CJ this morning. He wished me the best of luck. Told me he was going to be out here, check me out. Me and him go way back. Know him since we're both from Greenville. Know him since I was a kid. So that's my guy. I'm just trying to follow their footsteps. And, get the opportunity and make the best of it.
You mentioned being from Greenville, childhood dream realized now for a chance to have a pro day at the school you grew up watching. Your brother went here. Touch a little bit on
It's amazing, you know. It's a stone to our family. You know, we bleed purple and gold. You know, my brother went here before me. He was able to come out here compete. He got his shot at the next level, and you know, battle injuries. But other than that, you know, he made the best of his opportunity. And I'm glad to follow in his footsteps. You know, and just come out here and just show that like we're Pirates for life.
What are NFL teams getting out of you as a player?
Everything. You know, I'm a very versatile player. You know, I want to get somewhere. I want to win. I want to change the culture around. Bring in the stuff that Coach Houston has molded into me. You know, just being a guy with high character and being able to win and be versatile and do what I need to do.
You mentioned, you know, wanting to PR and all that. What was today like for you? What was it like being out there?
Oh man, it was surreal. You know, coming out here, just a lot of nerves. You know, being able to go inside in the weight room and just start with the vertical and bench press, and being able to put up such good numbers on that, it relieved a lot of stress. So you know, being able to come out here, I was just flowing, going with emotions, and some of the drills just, you know, felt natural. Like at the end, we did pass rush, and I was just excited. Like, you know, I'm like, that's what I'm born to do. So just able to, you know, just get those jitters out early, and everything else just felt smooth.
What is the best case scenario for you now?
Just somebody give me a shot, and it's gonna all go from there.
What would it mean to land on a 53-man and break camp with an NFL team?
To mean everything, because it's a dream of mine. And not only me, I won't be able to just change my life, I'll be able to change the lives of the ones around me. I'll be able to help my family, you know, just in ways that I can't even explain. Stuff we dreamed about, and they always got my back. So being able to change their lives and not only mine means the world. It's what I live for.
All right, there is Jeremy Lewis recapping his pro day experience earlier today, and we also have Jalen Johnson. I believe we'll have that video up on our 94.3 The Game page. Jalen Johnson actually worked out at Georgia as well, did some testing stuff there. Of course, he transferred in from Georgia as a grad transfer a couple years ago, and then he did more of the position drills here at East Carolina, and I thought Jalen looked good. Jarrett Garner, a guy who did not play a huge role at ECU, tested extremely well, really good athlete, runs extremely well, good size. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him, because heard he ran maybe in the 4.4 range, maybe even lower. And he's 6'3", looks the part. So scouts will probably be interested with some of his testing numbers as he looks to make the transition to the NFL. Philip Pilkington is producing today's show. And did anything stand out from you when you were out there today, Philip?
Yeah, I just think there was – sorry, I don't have a producer cam on me right now.
Yeah, all good.
But, I think we saw a lot of speed from these guys. A lot of guys, despite, you know, whatever their size was, whatever their position was, there was a lot of speed. Now, the unfortunate thing, due to some of that speed, I think some of our guys looked maybe a little undersized. I definitely think they're going to have to bulk up, especially when you think of a guy like Jeremy. It's like if he wants to play middle linebacker, he's a little small. But then if you look at things like his vertical, which I heard was very good, he would be able to play at the safety with his athleticism, but he's not really fast enough. But he was pretty fast for a middle linebacker. So it's a lot of just finding out where these guys are going to go. But when you got guys who are fast and can work hard, they can always find their way onto a roster, because the special teams, each team always keeps 2 or 3 guys that are, you know, listed as linebackers, listed as box safeties, and they turn out to just be special teams guys. And you can have a good long career in the NFL doing that.
Yeah, so happy for a number of guys who did well and got to perform today. D'Angelo McKinney, former ECU player, was also back today testing as an offensive tackle. Also had a guy from Mars Hill in as well. So double-digit players going through drills and all of that. All right, we're going to get a break in. Our first break. We'll come back. Scott Rogers just got here. We'll welcome him to the set. We'll talk some baseball. Of course, ECU baseball tonight against UNCW. We'll do that. We'll look ahead to UAB a little bit this coming weekend, what that series will be like as well, and get Scott's take on how he's doing in our bracket challenge and see how the future looks with his bracket. We will discuss that and more on the other side. This is Hoist the Colors.
It's time to get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota. More savings, more selection, more for your trade. Get new Camrys, $269 a month, or new RAV4s, $299 a month. Save big and get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Hey, grab me one too.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota. Get more savings on our huge Toyota selection. Shop new Corollas just $239 a month or new Tundras with 3.99% financing. Get more for your trade. Save big and get more in 24 at Greenville Toyota.
This is ECU head football coach Mike Houston, and you're listening to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on this Tuesday, March 26th edition of the show. It's been a busy day already. It's going to get busier. Again, we had Pro Day this morning. Just recap that. By the way, throwing to the receivers today with a brand new NFL ball was Caton Hauser and Jake Garcia. And so, you had some, I don't want to say issues, but some things to overcome there because a brand new NFL ball is so slick. They were basically just trying to get a grip on it. Like it hadn't been used at all. So, the quarterbacks were trying to throw accurate balls. It took some time to get that down. They had to keep rubbing some pellets on it from the turf and all that sort of stuff. And then the guys were trying to catch a brand new ball. So after they got settled in, it went pretty good. So wanted to throw that note in. We've got ECU football practice coming up this afternoon, both video portion and interview portion with Mike Houston. And then we got Pirate baseball this evening. So we welcome in the man you can hear on 94.3 The Game along with Coach O every game day, especially here, unless I guess San Antonio.
No, it's just me.
Yep. So which we'll get your take on that trip here shortly. Scott Rogers is here on a Tuesday. Short notice, but you made it.
I did.
We can blame Kaysen. He had jury duty and forgot about it. Let me know last night.
It's a good thing he remembered.
He did. He said
we
his
did
mom,
not need Kaysen to be arrested.
He said his mom reminded him, so he did. He did make it, and he got there, and was told that the case had been dismissed. So.
Oh wow, they got scared because of Kaysen. He's such an intimidating juror.
That is true. Never want to have Kaysen ruling on your verdict. I mean, got to be honest. I don't think I would either.
I don't picture Kaysen as a guy to like send somebody to jail. Like I feel like he could forgive him some way.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like
especially if they're a State fan.
You'd have to be pretty messed up for Kaysen to send you to jail, I think.
Probably so.
So Kaysen will join us Thursday. We'll get into the Sweet 16 with him as he's Mr. Basketball. You're Mr. Baseball. We will talk about your bracket, which is not Joe's bracket that I just pointed to. He's leading. We'll get into that before the end of the hour. All right, what happened in San Antonio, Scott?
A lot of things.
Give us the breakdown. We'll start with the the team performance first from your vantage point. Look, I talked to Cliff Godwin twice yesterday on the record. Talked to him a few times off the record, so I have a pretty good handle on it. But I want you tell from your vantage point, what do you think happened in San Antonio for the Pirates to lose 2-3?
I think one of the biggest things that jumps out was how well UTSA was prepared for our starting rotation. The way they jumped on Savage Friday, the way they jumped on Root Saturday, and then I don't think Jake Hunter really pitched that bad on Sunday. It was just, you had the communication error there in the outfield, and then UTSA found holes all weekend at the plate. Everywhere there was a hole in that field, they found it. That was a good hitting team, and with them coming in with those numbers and the way they hit the ball this weekend, it's kind of surprising they have not won more games than they have.
I think so too, because especially on the weekend, like watching some of their top arms and watching some of their top 4 or 5 in the lineup are legit.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of good at-bats where they would just foul off pitches and end up doing enough to, hit the baseball the other way on the ground. And give them credit. They know their field. If you hit on the ground there, it's going to
bounce all over the place.
Yeah, it's going to bounce. It's going to get through. I guess it just plays like rock hard if it's not raining. So I don't know. I mean, it just seemed to really – any ground ball seemed to scoot through.
Yeah, and, really watching that field during BP, there was so many bad hops on that infield.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the dirt, but just the transition from grass to dirt. I mean, it was very bad in some spots. And, you go back, I can't remember which game it was, the error that Colby Wallace had at third. I think it was Colby Wallace. That was not anything he did. It was a bad hop on the infield. I mean, he couldn't do anything with it.
And watching the one that Starling got, on Sunday, that one skipped up on him last second too. So and again, he would probably say he still needs to make the play, but if that's a Clark Leclerc, it's probably an out. And
right.
It's just part of playing on the road, man. You got to deal with those things, and it's frustrating because we've heard other aspects of the trip. We're not the best towards ECU, or the accommodations weren't the best, I should say.
Right.
Maybe not up to standard. Cliff Godwin said last night they don't have TrackMan, so maybe your umpire isn't graded as critiqued as much. He also said replay was not working on Sunday till the 7th inning, so the Bristol Carter play, which I think would have made it first and second.
I think so, yeah.
Instead, into the inning, they couldn't review it. They also they did review the Justin Wilcoxon hit by pitch that they said did not hit him. So,
which I heard something. That ball hit something. You could hear it.
And that's what Cliff said as well. Everybody heard it because, there was probably nobody there.
Yeah.
So, it's just, I don't know. It feels like UTSA needs to make some investments to upgrade some things.
It does.
Wait, I just got one question. Is that not some of those things were mentioned? Aren't they conference requirements? Aren't you required to have replay that works? And, because it's wrong if you can challenge in one ballpark and not another. Do they not have specific rules?
I'm sure.
Well, they had it those first 2 games. Yeah. I think it was just down for some reason.
I guess if it's broken, but you have it, does that count as having replay? I don't know.
The replay room, it was also under a Walmart tent,
and right beside the UTSA dugout.
Yeah.
So the players, they would show the replay on the broadcast, and the UTSA players would just be over there, looking over the umpire's shoulders, seeing what the replay is. So I don't know, man. This. Again, credit UTSA. I don't want it to come off as sour grapes. They won the series, but you can't be in a conference that, like the American, that is trying to take baseball seriously. Maybe it's not, because if they're not holding UTSA to a standard, it clearly isn't. I heard the shower situation after Sunday, for the departing team is not good at all either. So it's you got to fix these issues. It's their first series in the American. I'll give them a little bit of a break. But if they don't have it fixed by the time ECU goes back, that's a problem.
Yeah, and from what y'all could probably tell on TV, those chairback seats right behind home plate, those are new. This is the first year they've had them. That press box that we were in was brand new. Well, the press box was not even finished yet. It still had construction flooring down. We were the first visiting radio crew that has been there all year. So
no surprise.
Yeah. Their internet situation was not very good. The line that they gave us for internet was about this long in the booth. I had to have my equipment way on the other side from where I was sitting just for it to reach the internet port because it was so short. There's one entrance to that press box, and it was through our booth. So there's people coming in and out throughout the whole game, slamming the door. For instance, on Friday, apparently that room has kind of been like the hangout room for some people. And, we set all of our stuff up. Chip Welch sits beside me on these road trips in the booth. And so he's got his stuff set up. And we go down the field, watch BP for a little bit, and come back upstairs. And there's just people sitting with all of our stuff. They've got laptops set up. And I'm like, do y'all not see that? Yeah, do y'all not see that we have stuff set up here? And they're like, yeah, this is a visiting radio booth. Like, you need to move. It was just stuff like that. That was very frustrating from our standpoint. And like I sent y'all pictures throughout the weekend. I think there was one where it might have been Friday when Trey Savage was stretching, and it was like out on the berm where people sit beside the dugout because there's just no room there to do anything. There's so many things there that definitely need to be invested because it obviously felt like they were still in a Conference USA situation.
Even lower almost.
Yeah, almost. But yeah, there's definitely some things, and they're on the right track with doing the stadium renovations, but they're still nowhere close, I think, to where we need to be, and especially like with Tulane and Memphis has put improvements into their ballpark. There's other places out there in the American that, yes, they might not be as good as East Carolina, but they're a whole lot better than what UTSA was.
And it definitely makes you appreciate how good ECU has it. I mean,
absolutely.
When you go on the road and experience that. And again, this is nothing against the UTSA baseball team. They won the series. They've actually been a solid, almost NCAA caliber team the past 2 years. So it's not like they're a bad team. It's just like the facilities need to be
and it's not just baseball. I mean, it's all their facilities pretty much except for football.
Yeah, they put all their money in the football.
Right.
I've had that conversation with Coach Schwartz, who spent time at UTSA.
Mm-hmm. I remember you did that on the coach's show a couple weeks ago.
They've put all their money in the football, and it's worked. I mean, football is the most important thing, but basketball and baseball have basically been ignored to this point, and it shows.
So they showered on Sunday before we left, and it was like a coach's office, kind of like a Ward or a Murphy Center type deal. It looked like, but it was right next to basketball. And walking up to it, you could see where we were going, and I didn't even realize it was basketballs, the arena, until I got up close to it and saw the name, and I was like, "Oh, this is a basketball arena." It didn't even look like a basketball arena from the outside. It looked like a prison almost, but. You could just tell that everything goes into the football there.
So was there a Red Roof Inn in center field, or was that the basketball arena?
So basketball was about a 3 to 4 minute drive away.
Okay.
From where baseball was.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we were trying to figure out what was in center because somebody said there was a prison behind center field.
It was dorms.
Dorms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you had dorms out in left center field, and then over on the right field side and behind the first base line was what looked like campus recreation facilities.
Gotcha.
It was actually kind of funny when we pulled up on Saturday where the bus parks and where the rental car that the team always gets parks. Their drum line was practicing. And so we could actually faintly hear them throughout the game Saturday. I don't know if anybody else could hear it on the broadcast, but you could just hear marching band practicing off in the distance. It was very interesting.
I think we need to do that with the dorms. I would have liked to have had a dorm overlooking Clark LeClaire. Like, I love the atmosphere. Just think about it, like March Madness weekend. You want to sit at home, watch the game on TV. You can still overlook and see the baseball game. I like that. I think you need to put a nice apartment complex right beside Clark LeClaire.
The Pilkington Student Living Facility.
There you go.
Yeah. You can do the name rights, Philip. You're rich these days.
There you go.
I don't know what your definition of rich is, but okay.
When's the last time, Scott, that you saw an ECU baseball game? And maybe this has happened more than we think. ECU hits 4 home runs on Sunday. All their runs come off the home run, and they still lose. It just feels like it's been a long time since we've seen something like that happen.
It has been, and that was one of the frustrating things from that Sunday game was you hit so many home runs, and only one of them is with somebody on base, but. In going into that game Sunday, kind of had the feeling it was like who's going to outslug who today. And it ended up being sort of low scoring. But you had, so many plays in there where you had that drop fly ball in the outfield. You had, the air at second base, that you take some of those things out of the equation. Does East Carolina not give up 2 or 3 runs and they win that game? You take little things out of that series overall, and I think this could be a totally different conversation we're having right now.
All right, let's get our second break in. We'll come back. We'll talk about UNCW. We'll discuss also the week ahead, what margin this leaves for ECU if they still want to host a regional. Long way to go, obviously. But, that is a conversation worth having, I feel like, at this point. So we'll discuss those things. We'll also check out Scott's bracket, see how good or bad it is. This is Hoist the Colors on a Tuesday.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Everything you need to know in the world of ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in Hoist the Colors. Again, first pitch at 6 o'clock tonight, ECU UNCW. Not 5 o'clock. Hoist the Colors. Our graphics department.
The juror
himself, Case Romeli. Too busy reading about NC State basketball, so he got the start time wrong on the game.
Is he going to the Sweet 16?
He's not as of now. He's actually covering ECU baseball Thursday and
hopefully Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you giving him Friday off since State plays at 7?
Should I make him cover a doubleheader and then instead of watching the State game?
Make him watch it on his laptop with
you're
earbuds
talking about the likelihood of the Friday doubleheader?
Yeah.
Make him do both.
If there's a Friday doubleheader, let me clarify, because Kaysen says, hey, bro, chill. If there's a Friday doubleheader, we should send Kaysen there and make sure that he stays through all 18 innings at least.
That's right.
Unless there's a run rule or extra innings.
Tell him you'll give him like 3 or 4 extra hours for his internship if he does it.
I'll give you double the hours, Kaysen, as he says no. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, there's that would be the. I've gotten questions. Say if it rains Thursday, the only possibility, Scott, will be a double header for UAB Friday.
Yeah,
because travel day is Saturday.
Yep.
So they'd have to get that in Friday. UNCW tonight. I expect the Pirates bounce back, although UNCW is also looking for revenge from the ECU loss a few weeks ago. So
and a hot team right now, coming off a sweep of Elon.
Is Elon just that bad?
It's weird because, numbers wise, going into that game last Tuesday, they were hitting like 305 as a team. And we just went in there and shut them out completely. And UNCW kind of did the same thing in their series. And it was interesting, the way that game went. But I thought it was going to be a much better Elon team than what had been in the past. But it really was not that case.
Luke Cutler says, hopefully I can listen to this UNCW game tonight and not want to rip out my hair.
Is that because of the game or my announcing?
Please clarify, Luke. I assume he is talking about the game just because every UNCW game tends to go down this path. Like Jonathan Wagner, who we do the Hoist the Colors podcast with on Sunday night, made the epic mistake of texting in the second inning of that game and was like, hey, thus far, this feels like a normal baseball game, not an ECU UNCW game. And what did it turn into?
A ECU UNCW game.
Dang it, Wags. You had one job.
Yeah, if he does that again tonight, we're going to have serious issues. Luke,
we will all drive to Raleigh Saturday after the game and jump Wags.
Jump or throw eggs at his house?
He lives in an apartment. I feel that bad for the other people there.
Yeah, good point.
He is on the corner, so he does have two.
Are we admitting to a crime right now on the radio?
I've known Wags long enough. This is just hazing one of your friends. This isn't a crime. It's different.
I got you.
Kaysen Romeli, by the way, has sent in an updated graphic with the correct start time. So he really does not.
That boy, Kaysen.
Hey,
he really does not want to cover a potential doubleheader Friday. Luke clarifies as well the game, not you.
Okay, good. Good. That makes me feel better.
He may be lying, but it is what it is. So yeah, UNCW. The thing I noticed about the first game, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to try to tweet out the updated graphic.
Multitasking right now.
Tanner Thatch, ECU did a tremendous job on him, and it was the rest of the lineup that hurt ECU. So, I kind of expect Thatch to get some revenge tonight. Not that he's going to hit 3 homers, but at least have an impact on the game. And then maybe you got to hold down some of the other parts of the lineup.
Yeah, and they've got good hitters in there. You mentioned Thatch. Tanner Marsh there at the top of the order is really good. I think he was the top of the order. Might be getting him confused with his brother because his brother was at Liberty.
I think he hit right before Thatch in the ECU game.
Okay, yes, the top of the order. You've got John Newton in there who's been in that lineup for 3 years now, who's a veteran player. They've got veteran guys in there. They know they've won games against ECU before. They certainly know what to expect coming into Clark LeClaire tonight, and they're going to be ready. It's just East Carolina's going to have to, I think, really attack this starter early and get deep into that UNCW bullpen. Now, they got deep in there last time, but didn't have as much success as you would have thought. But with this being at home, you're coming off that frustrating series loss. I just think this is going to be a really, pumped up East Carolina team tonight.
And first midweek game at home this season.
And I didn't even realize that until today.
It's crazy because of the VCU cancellation and the fact historically ECU schedules a lot of road midweek games early in the season because they're often at home so much. So we should see the pinstripes tonight.
I'm looking forward to it. Was it JC that alluded to that last night?
Yeah, he said the plan is pinstripes, so that'll be good to see for sure. So UNCW starting a lefty that has only pitched twice this year, but it's going to be a bullpen day. And Kaler trying to build off last week. So you would think ECU has an advantage on the mound. Kaler started the first game at UNCW as well and pitched pretty good.
He had that one inning. I think it was the 4th inning where they had that home run and a couple of runs.
Texted.
Right. But, if he pitches like he did last week against Elon, Pirates should have no issue whatsoever tonight. And, you look back on that start at Elon, too. I think that was one thing that kind of helped the bullpen going into this past weekend against UTSA was you only had to use guys like Danny Bill and whoever threw in that game, you only had to throw them an inning or so. And so that helped that bullpen for the weekend. And if you can do that again with a short week here, with it being Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that's going to be a huge part of the success, I think, this weekend too.
No doubt. Newton Smith says hopefully it's a better broadcast than this past weekend on the Plus. This weekend there were no stats, pitch count, who's up to bat, et cetera. So, yeah, that is run by UTSA. So
correct.
This will be an ECU broadcast tonight. Basically, when you see an ESPN Plus broadcast, unless it's football, it's basically on the university home.
Pretty much.
Home.
Yep.
They're doing the broadcast or pretty much in charge of everything. So it'll be much better, and it's a credit to the guys who do a good job behind the scenes.
Yeah, and some people complain, when we have these what's called the pass-through broadcast, where it's not your normal graphics and it's our radio feed on there. Well, that's obviously now you can't take that for granted after what you saw this past weekend, and that's a credit to the Pirate Video department, who does such a great job. And a lot of people don't realize too that they have to do these other sports. You can't just always do baseball all the time on the Plus. They have to split it up, and they have to pick which games they can do. But regardless, when you have those pass-through broadcasts, and it might not be your best graphics, but you still have good people that are sitting there doing it and putting every ounce of effort into doing it to make it a great broadcast.
All right, Luke Cutler says UNCW is wearing navy blue, ? When we played in basketball, we had an elite jersey matchup. Yeah, I think it was purple versus navy blue in Minji's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what UNCW is wearing. They might break out the teal. Who knows? But we know ECU's wearing the pinstripes. That's all that matters. Few more things before we get our break in with Scott Rogers. So, look, Jacob Starlin, Justin Wilcoxon struggling right now. Guys that have proven in the past they're very good players. So, what do you kind of make of it? Is it just a rough patch for those guys?
Cliff Godwin, I think, hit it perfectly last night, saying that they were playing this year with a lot of pressure on them because they're those older guys. They had so much success in the past, and these are players that like he said too, a lot of people look up to in this community. They've made an impact on this program and throughout this town as well. And with him saying that, with them playing a little bit more freer right now, and I think that would help them a lot because he spoke all year long about how Carter Cunningham has played freely throughout this season, and you see the success that he has. And so just taking some of that pressure off and just going out there and play, I think might be a big difference for those two.
We talked to Eric Ritchie last night on the Tiebreaker show inside Pirate Athletics, and he said some stuff I didn't expect, talking about how he tried to be somebody else. He wasn't kind of serious out on the mound early in the year, and this just is not me. So he kind of went back to, I guess, in a way, not taking it so seriously and having more fun. And not that he's out there goofing off, but just kind of being himself. And he's pitched better as a result. So sometimes it is a lot mental. I mean, baseball is such a mental game, Scott. So it's always interesting to hear those type of things. We just see them as players on the field, but there's a lot more that goes into it. All right. We'll get a break in, and then we will talk about Scott's bracket. We'll talk some March Madness as well. We'll see if Case Romeli still works for Hoist the Colors and is going to show up Friday for the doubleheader. We'll discuss potential doubleheader.
He actually just got arrested.
Yeah, for not showing up to jury duty. All right, we'll be right back. Hoist the Colors on a Tuesday.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Inner Banks Media and 107.9 WNCT presents Concert on the Common.
1, 2, 3, say, I love beach music.
It's back April 25th with the Embers.
Hallelujah. Girls let's hit you hallelujah. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
Don't miss Concert on the Common with the Embers.
Concert on the Common, thanks to Interbanks Media, the City of Greenville, and the Junior League of Greenville.
We'll see you at the show.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Hey, grab me one too.
Air service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Tell me what's happening. Every ECU fan's one stop for all things ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in.
I'll transcribe my chicken scratch.
Hoist the Colors here. We're trying to figure out Scott Ryder's bracket. I
don't like writing small, okay?
It's hard to read as it's written because of Scott's handwriting, and the bracket is I would say it should be more landscape, but it's printed portrait.
Well, I didn't print
should
this.
we blame that on Philip?
Well, did you? The printer at this place is wonk.
Wonk. Wonk?
Yeah, it's bad.
What's
Wonky.
the definition of wonk?
You never heard like wonky?
Well, I know
I've heard wonky.
Okay, well, it's wonky.
I've never heard is wonk.
Anyways,
Philip just created a new word.
Yeah. Point is, I just printed it out how it was emailed to me, and then I hit the print button, and I was trying to get it all done on Thursday before noon. I had a friend called me from back home at like 11:50 going, will you help me fill out my bracket?
I
I'm
can verify that.
Why the heck didn't you call me last night when you texted me and asked if I could help fill out your bracket? But, you know.
That's why Philip's
like,
the
well,
greatest.
She's like, I'm sitting in the airport. It's a good thing my flight got delayed, or I wouldn't even be. This has been my best friend since I was 4. That kind of friend. So.
Philip, I did hear that conversation. And I want to say props to you for being incredibly patient, because I would have just been like, fill this out yourself. I cannot handle these questions she was asking.
You should have told her to pick it by mascots.
She asked one question about who won this game last year, thinking that they like match up the same every year or something like that.
Yeah, I think she had San Diego State and UConn, I think.
But then, no, she was asking like every other game from that point on.
Yeah.
It was like Alabama. I think it was
Oh,
Alabama.
yeah, she was
UNC.
like, yeah, that's right. Alabama UNC. She goes, well, who won the West last year? I'm like, they don't end up in the same bracket every year. I don't know who won the West. Seems they even play each other. She's like, oh. It's like, they hit the same every year. You think Carolina would be in the West?
And this is why we have technical difficulties when we come on the air, because Philip spends his pre-show talking about brackets with his friends all the time.
Yep.
I'm just kidding, of course.
No, it might be true. You know, I do love March Madness. I think that last Thursday and Friday should be national holidays, and I understand us being in sports talk radio should have to go to work, but I think everybody else should just be allowed to sit on their couch unless they work at a sports bar.
The day after the Super Bowl and the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament.
And opening day.
And opening day. Which,
and let's throw Thursday and Friday of the Masters out there.
All right, let's just not have any work days and just go from that.
How do we feel about opening day of baseball being the same day as Sweet 16?
Yeah, they should have bumped it up a day.
Ooh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, they should have made opening day tomorrow.
Yeah,
would have been perfect.
Why
It's
not
supposed to
just
rain all day. We
why
could
not
sit there and watch
just
it.
start it? I know they want to start it going to a weekend, but start it on Monday.
Also, why does it start in March now? It used to start in April.
MLB,
Call Rob
man.
Manfred.
They just do their own thing.
Oh, it's probably because they added playoff teams, maybe, I guess. But you're right. Manfred doesn't do – if it makes sense, Manfred doesn't do it.
I'm the only person in this room that's used the bathroom next to Rob Manfred.
Oh,
When was that?
The Little League World Series in 2017. He used the stall next to me, and I looked up, and it was Rob Manfred with two goons standing behind me, and I was terrified. And
Did you say hey?
I did, while we were peeing next to each other.
Did you tell him what you thought of him, or were you worried about
This
the goons?
this was when he was relatively new, and nobody really hated him yet.
So
But
at
I
this time,
also
only
would
Roger
not
Goodell
have.
in the hockey.
No, but I also would not have said anything bad to him because there was two very scary-looking men protecting him behind him, and I did not want to die in a bathroom.
Hey, man, sticks and stones, right? You know, you're allowed to say what you want to him, freedom of speech. You just couldn't try and touch him or anything.
Well, I certainly would not try to touch him in the bathroom.
You know what I mean? When he gets done, you can't swing on him.
True.
All right, we're
Enough bathroom talk.
We're running out of time. We got a question. Can you answer it in 10 seconds? Robert Matthews wants to know, what was the deal with UTSA coach getting in on the conversation between Cliff and the umpire? Is that a rule that was broken or just bad baseball etiquette?
I have no idea what was said, but regardless, if any coach is talking to an umpire and the other one comes up and interrupts, it is not appropriate, and I think it was very bad on his part to do so.
All right. That was Scooter's bracket breakdown. We'll have more on that later in the week.
It's not terrible. That's the only thing. It's not terrible, and me and Igo are tied right now with points.
We'll see you tomorrow, 12 noon. Hoist the colors.
Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back tomorrow with more of Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.